It is picked up by Aaron Crocker over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Croc Talk TV podcast. Peace. Welcome to another episode of Croc Talk TV. I am your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And on today's episode, we got a jam-packed show. All right, we're going to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson and some of her issues. Obviously, Josh Gordon, he's trying to get reinstated back into the NFL. He's been battling an addiction issue for years now, and it sounds like he's finally becoming clean. We'll touch on that. I want to get into some Trey Lance talk. All right, I'm a 49er fan, so we'll get into a little bit of 49er talk. Trey Lance, a lot of hype surrounding him this offseason. And then there's three guys I want to talk about. All right, breakout players, and we want to get into that. All right, but first, I want to start by saying, rest in peace to my godmother, Yogi. She lost her life this morning. She's my big cousin, but she's like an aunt because she's same age as my mom. So, but Yogi, my godmom, love you. Rest easy, and I'll see you when I get up there. She's always looked out for me. So that was tough getting that phone call. Last time I got a phone call like that with my mom having that type of face, and those tears in her eyes, she definitely, it was my dad, she was telling me, that passed away. We'll kind of get into that a little bit too, because that kind of pertains to some of the topics we're going to talk about today. But first, Sha'Carri Richardson. I know this is a football podcast, but I kind of put out there today, I put a tweet up about showing love for Josh Gordon the way that people have showed love for Sha'Carri Richardson. And obviously Sha'Carri Richardson, if y'all know her background, she's from Dallas, Texas. She was going to LSU as a freshman, ran 10.75, broke like the collegiate record. She exploded onto the scene, and you can see it all over Twitter, just how special of an athlete she is, and especially even at that time. And everybody knew kind of what was to come. And you see now her being able to compete for, the Olympics, and boom, gone. She believe it was her mother who, lost her life. And Sha'Carri made the decision to smoke marijuana, something that's banned. If it's in your system, you can't go to the Olympics, or at least participate in the events that you eventually tried out for. And, I think that's unfortunate. Obviously, she went on live and was saying that she understands what she did. She knows why she did it, and kind of is what it is, and she'll live with the consequences. And my thoughts on that is, it's tough because marijuana is obviously something that is legal in a lot of states, 16 states, 17 states. And I believe even the state that she's been in where she would actually smoke is legal there. So it's tough. You see a lot of people come out, and this is kind of where I'm going with this and with the Josh Gordon reinstatement, but you see a lot of people come out in defense of her and say, hey, it's just marijuana. Everybody smokes marijuana. It should be legal. Let her run. A lot of support poured in for it. And then I'm on Twitter, and I see Josh Gordon has been clean for the last few months. He's been taking random drug tests, and he applied for reinstatement. And my initial reaction was man, that's amazing. This dude has battled through so much adversity. He's been dealing with these demons and battles with drug addiction much worse than weed. Some of the things that he's battled with alcohol, hard drugs. He's been battling this stuff for a long time now. But I think it's amazing, even if he's had the relapses and all those type of things, he's had, countless opportunities. And we saw Josh Gordon, what type of football player this guy was. But for me, just to see a guy that just has not quit and continues to kind of battle back. And obviously, a lot of my reactions I got in the message in the comments was, well, they just keep giving him opportunities. And my thing is man, he keeps battling, man. And that's what life is, right? If I told y'all the things that I went through to even get to this point to where y'all would even take me serious and listen to me talk, and a lot of that has to do with my background. But for me to get to even have an opportunity in the NFL and play arena football, all those things I did, if I told y'all what led up to that, man, y'all would be like, hell nah. You know, I got countless opportunities as well. So when I look at somebody like him, there are probably a lot of people that have given up on him and maybe stopped trying to show support. But my thing is, man, like that same energy and love that Sha'Carri got, and I get it. This is the first offense, and it's something, and it's just weed. Everybody smoke weed, whatever. But I saw the love and the outpour, and it's like, man, give it to this man who also, you know, who's been dealing with these demons and battling all these things for years and going through all the adversities of being able to go through it, then it getting pulled away, then go through it, then it pulled away. And a lot of people would have just tanked it. And we've seen guys, RIP to Charles Rogers, but, you know, Charles Rogers is dead now. Receiver from Michigan State was a top pick. Was he first overall pick or top 5 pick in the NFL draft by the Detroit Lions? And, you know, he lost his life, and I want to say it was to like some drug addiction and stuff. And that's the path that it can go down. And to see Josh Gordon continuing to push and try to overcome those demons, something that he's been battling with since he was 16 years old. It's like, man, show this dude some love. Instead, I see a lot of comments, and a lot of the comments are just clowning him, joking on him. How many opportunities is this guy going to get? Yada, yada, yada. And it's like, man, give him as many opportunities as he needs. And a lot of it has to do with, you know, who he is, the profession that he's in. A lot of people are going to show NFL players a lot of love, or professional athletes in general. They might get more opportunities because he's 6'3", 225 pounds, and runs as fast as anybody, right? So you might get more opportunities. But my thing is, at the end of the day, he's a human. And that was the first thing I noticed getting to the NFL. Somebody like me who idolized these guys growing up. You know, it's I idolize all these dudes, and next thing you know, I'm in the locker room with Tim Tebow and Cromartie and Mark Sanchez, guys I grew up watching on TV and looking up to. And you realize, man, they're just like me. They're just like you. They deal with all these different, you know, adversities and situations in their life. And you hope that people are, you know, in their lives that help them kind of work through maybe some of the issues that they have, be there to help them through those things and guide them through those things, and not give up on them. So Josh Gordon, I ain't giving up on him. Hopefully he gets reinstated. Hopefully he gets another opportunity, because it seems like this is even the NFL is maybe the one thing that's keeping him on track. You know, if he ain't have NFL, I don't know where Josh Gordon would be, and we probably don't know what he would be doing. But that it gives him something to strive for. Quick backstory, a little bit on me. I remember when I was with the New York Jets, my dad died, and I talked about, you know, today finding out that my godmom passed away, and, you know, getting that call on my mom's face, and I'm like, Mom, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Because it's on FaceTime, and she was like, you know, Yogi died, and my mom made that call to me when my father passed away. And my father, I'll tell you, I mean, I got my story's kind of crazy. I got 3 different dads, technically. I mean, I got my Brian Crocker, who I'm talking about, who passed away. Obviously, my last name. When I was 9 years old, I found out I had a different dad, who's like actually my biological dad. Found that out when I was 9 years old. Then I was 10 years old. I met my stepfather, who's still in my life now. So, you know what I'm saying? 3 men, you know what I'm saying? But Brian Crocker, my dad, you know, he was my best friend. We spoke every day, even when I was with the New York Jets, and even when I was with the Jets when I got this call, we spoke every day. And when I got the call that he passed away, that was tough. You know what I'm saying? And you guys who've been following me, anybody that's tuned in right now, you understand. Everybody knows how much I love football. It's been a passion of mine since I was a little kid. And when my father passed away, football suddenly was not important to me. Was not important to me. I could care less about anything that was going on in those meeting rooms. I could care less about, making the team. Matter of fact, I remember when I got released from the New York Jets, and I felt this like feeling of like relief, like you know what I'm saying? Like I could take a deep breath now. And a lot of that had to do with my dad's death and me trying to deal with that and cope with that. So with Sha'Carri Richardson, I understand what she's going through. To the extent, you know, at least somewhat losing a parent, and we all deal with things and cope with things differently. And I think she made the kind of decision that at that time she didn't really care about the repercussions of it. And I think that's what she's going through. I think obviously you got to be held to the same standards as everyone else. it is what it is. They're going to test you. Everybody knows they're going to test you. She knew they were going to test her. She probably didn't care at that time because, again, when something like that happens, we all deal with it different. I know I had a tough time dealing with my father's death. And, so y'all, you got your loved ones. Make sure you tell them you love them. I wish I would have told my godmom more, how I felt about her and how much I love her and appreciate her. And now, I don't really have that opportunity unless I'm praying that she hears me. So I appreciate y'all all in here. Did your biological father introduce you to the game of football? No. Person that really introduced me to football was my Uncle Tracy. So my Uncle Tracy, that was kind of like the man in my life. He was my hero pretty much. I remember when I was kind of coming up, he gave me a shoebox, and the shoebox had like tons of letters from like people all around the nation. Oregon, USC, all these letters to him, you know what I'm saying, to my Uncle Tracy. So yeah, my uncle, that was my hero. And he was kind of the man in my life that introduced me to football. Luckily, like him, I'm not a Cowboy fan. He's a diehard Cowboy fan. I am a Laker fan. He introduced me to the Lakers. So a lot of people, because I'm a Niner fan and a Giants fan, again, a lot of people are like, well, why are you a Laker fan? Why aren't you a Warrior fan? I'm like, man, my uncle Tracy, he was a Laker fan. And when I asked him about it, that was his team. So I'm not going to talk too much about those things, but at the end of the day, whether it's Flash Gordon, whether it's Sha'Carri Richardson, we all have to figure out how to overcome adversity, and all our different adversities are different. So I don't ever judge anyone on some of the things that they go through. Just pray for them and just be in their corner and hope that eventually they can get out of that those issues and overcome that adversity. So that was kind of the intro. I didn't even get into introducing this whole thing. Obviously, it's Croc Talk TV. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button right now. All right, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Obviously, we got some people tuned in from Periscope. If you're on Periscope, go over to YouTube. All right, click the link, and I tweeted it out. So click the link and go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Those things help me, all right? But regardless, you guys tuned in. I appreciate you guys, all right? So, again, got a jam-packed show. Next thing I'm going to talk about, Trey Lance. We're going to get into some up-and-coming guys that we're kind of expecting to have some breakout years in the NFL. All right. But Trey Lance, 49ers drafted him number 3 overall. Trey Lance, obviously a guy coming out of North Dakota State that had one good season at 19 years old. And he had these up and down, accuracy issues, I guess, or certain levels of the field where he struggled at a little bit more than other areas. Obviously, his overall completion percentage was 67%. Now, that doesn't mean that you're just this pure, accurate thrower, right? But I would say a lot of the things that he was asked to do, he wasn't, it wasn't like screen passes and things like that. I thought he made a lot of good decisions, made some, a lot of throws he was supposed to make. He made those. Some of the throws that might have been a little bit more difficult, he was a little inconsistent there. I remember watching this film and looking at it and thinking, like, man, these things are fixable. Like, a lot of times it's his feet. Or you watch JT O'Sullivan, he has great breakdowns on the QB school talking about him kind of raising up, going back down, throwing the ball, and how that changes his delivery and the accuracy and things like that. And I'm like, man, if he can work on those things, you got a big-time guy here, right? Big-time player, because you see the ability. You see sometimes him even leave some passes short downfield, and it's like, man, you got this big old arm. Why you leave this ball short? A lot of those things have to do with just his lower body mechanics and fixing those things. So this offseason, we've seen a ton of videos of Trey Lance working out, shorts and a t-shirt, right? And you're gonna hear a lot of different things about it, right? Like, is this really him? People are really excited about, oh man, look at this throw, look at that. Then you're gonna have the other people that are like, oh, it's just shorts and a t-shirt, it's just off-season hype workouts. And my question is, should you get excited about these things? And I would say yes. And not just because I'm a 49er fan, but for any player, for two reasons. One, especially with a guy that's drafted that high, your team has invested so much into this player. It's good to know that this stuff matters to this guy, right? Like, whether it's the working out or whatever it is, getting his mind right, the mental aspect of the game, taking things that he's learned and trying to apply it, working on those things every day. Like, that's exciting to see that a player that you're depending on, right? Your organization is depending on them. You are depending on them, right? 49er fans, the faithful, are depending on Trey Lance to take this team over the top, right? And really be that guy for years to come. So to see him working out, that's exciting. And I think people should be excited about those things. And then what it looks like, the way the ball comes out of his hands. I've seen people mock some of the tweets that are out there about him, and people being excited about his big arm. And they're like, well, what is it supposed to look like? Shorts and a t-shirt. It's supposed to be big arm. And no, all arms aren't created equal. All right. Some guys don't have that big of an arm to make the ball come out like that, or drive throws, or move on the run and the ball still come out on the line. So seeing those things, whether it's in shorts and t-shirts, or whether it's in pads, whether it's on air, or whether it's on 11-on-11, it doesn't matter. It's really exciting to see those things. When players have NFL workouts, when the New Orleans Saints flew me in for a private workout, when the Philadelphia Eagles flew me in, when the Jets flew me in, it's just me in shorts and t-shirt. And you get signed off of what you look like in shorts and a t-shirt. Obviously, they'll look at my film. They'll look at my film and say, hey, can this guy Croc play? And if they feel like I can play, they bring me in for a workout. They don't put me in a workout and shoulder pads and helmet and stuff like that. Like, nah, man, you get out there, they throw some gear on you, and they want to see how you move. What does it look like, right? And that's the same thing that you're seeing with Trey Lance, working on those things. I think probably 49ers want to see, hey, we worked a lot on specific things. Are those things carrying over? All right, this is fly that's flying around me right now. It's killing me. But are the things that we worked on during OTAs carrying over? Is he continuing to work on those things? Are those things going to be able to become some muscle memory, right? To where now, when the live bullets start flying, is he going to revert back to some of the other things that we saw in the JT Sullivan breakdowns, where I'm kind of popping up, popping down, making some passes a little inaccurate? Or is he going to continue to do the things that we're seeing right now in these videos that are coming out that he's not posting? Because I've seen some people like, Trey Lance is posting these videos every day, blah, blah. Like, I ain't seen him post one video. I've seen his trainers post videos. I see his trainers probably excited about the work and what it looks like, and a guy that they've been working with, and that's their product, right? So they're going to post him as often as they probably can. But it ain't so much him. So I would say, just in general, who cares where it's coming from, whatever, but what does it look like? And I would say it's exciting if you are a fan to see Trey Lance. So is the hype real? I would say the hype is real, because when you look at him, you hear about the mindset that he has. You hear Kyle Shanahan say they put in the full install in OTAs for the most part, right? Full install. They threw everything at him, wanted to see how he handled it. Sounds like he handled it very well. You see the ability, you see the arm strength, the workout videos, all of that, and you start to combine everything. And now you look forward to training camp, which starts today's the 3rd. Shoot, man, we're less than a month away from training camp starting. And there's going to be a battle. And this wasn't supposed to be a thing, or they're not rushing the battle or competition between Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. But that's what people are looking for. All right. They are looking for that battle between those two guys, because we know what Jimmy Garoppolo is. There's a lot of unknown with Trey Lance. So the hype, I know that people are getting excited about Trey Lance. I think it's real. Now, what is he going to do with it? That's the thing that's up to him and how he handles all that. But so far, sounds like he's doing a good job. There are other people that want to nitpick and critique everything he does. Trey Lance in the club when he's 21 years old or whatever. He is out in Vegas. Like, again, I went back to when I signed with the New York Jets. I walked into the locker room and I realized these dudes are just like me. They just got more money than me, right? They're just like me. They just got way more money. But just like any of y'all would want to go out and stuff like that, like these guys, like they have a life. But as long as you take care of your business, right, you do everything in your power leading up to, being able to go out, and you're not prioritizing going out over handling your business, who cares what you do in your spare time? All right. So is the hype real with Trey Lance? I say the hype is real, and I'm very intrigued to see what he's going to do. All right. So real quick, I'll take some questions. All right, I see a couple of questions in here before we get into the players that we're looking to have breakout years. All right, so read some of these questions real quick, y'all. I love that you can tell Trey Lance loves ball and does whatever to get better. I never got that from Jimmy, and that's something I've always questioned. Okay, so I just saw a post from a receiver, I think receiver from the Bears, and he posted, if you don't post your workouts, people think you aren't working out. It was something along those lines. So, damn flies. So I don't want to say that because Jimmy's not posting his workouts, he's not working out or he's not taking it serious or he's not training. All right. And again, Trey Lance isn't the one posting his workouts, it's his trainers, but maybe Jimmy has a more old school trainer and his trainer doesn't sit there with a camera and record the things, right? And doesn't have to build his brand from that aspect, already has his clients or whatever the case, whatever it is. So I don't want to say that just because we see the videos of Trey Lance working out and going hard or whatever, that means that, and we don't see those same videos with Jimmy Garoppolo, that means Jimmy ain't working out. I don't want to go that far. So I think Jimmy, I think he's somebody that takes his craft very serious, if I had to guess. Yes. Hope everybody's doing good today. Yes. She graduated college with honor. I graduated with B's. B's get degrees. B's do. C's get degrees too. All right. Is your wife mad you took her light? She got to deal with it. What's up? All right. So, shoes, man, let's get into some of these breakout players. All right. So I kind of already threw out like a teaser for a couple of the guys, and we'll talk about who those guys are now. But first and foremost, let's get into the first guy. Jeffrey Okudah, El Jefe. Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State, obviously going into his second year. A lot of expectations, being drafted third overall to the Detroit Lions. Now, I am on record of saying that I would not have taken him at number 3 overall. Matter of fact, it would be hard for me to draft any corner at number 3 unless that corner is just like the freakiest of freakish athletes, right? So if you had a lot of his film and then you ran 4.2 and you're 6'1" and all that, you have his size and all that, then it's like, whew, might be hard to kind of pass on this. But a guy that was close to about 4.5, actually ran 4.5 in the second 40 attempt. I didn't think he played extremely fast, but I saw some twitch and stuff exposing that. I thought his anticipation probably helped him more so than anything else. But I didn't think that he was a third overall type prospect. And then where he was going, all right, and scheme matters. Scheme fit matters. And we're going to get into Okudah and why I think he can be a breakout player. But scheme fit matters with everything that, guys go. And when you look at Okudah, what he did at Ohio State, he was my second corner in that class. And I caught a lot of heat for that. A lot of heat. I mean, I got a lot of hate. He even commented and said something to me or whatever. But I did not think that the Lions were a good fit for him if they planned on using him the same way that they used Darius Slay. Now, Darius Slay, they used him all over the field, right? I mean, he was a guy that they had shadow guys. You're going to play outside. You're going to play inside. You're going to play in some zone. Like, they did all type of things with Darius Slay. Big-time battles. Okay, you got to guard Keenan Allen for the entire game. They put a lot on Darius Slay's shoulders. I said, if they are going to expect Okudah to go into that system and do the things that Slay did, they are setting him up for success, for failure, excuse me. Okudah, to me, was probably one of the best press zone eyes type guys that I've seen since Josh Norman for the Carolina Panthers. And I'm talking about, like, at the line of scrimmage, he did a good job of, he can play some man there, but when he kind of opens up and he reads routes down from that press, it was a thing of beauty. So I didn't think he was a pure man guy, or maybe even did he did he have the high-end traits to really be that Darius Slay type guy? I didn't think so to that extent of drafting him number 3 overall, but I thought he fit more of a press zone type scheme, maybe a Seattle 3 type scheme, cover 4 type scheme, something that allowed him to play at the line of scrimmage, more press bail, play with his eyes a little bit more. I thought his anticipation was really good. Zone, all that stuff was great. I thought he was the ultimate competitor. I thought all those things were great. But the Lions, and then you got to look at who they're, Patricia, he's coming over from the Patriots and what they asked of their guys and how much man they played. I'm just like, I don't like the fit as much. Matter of fact, I like the Lions more for Henderson than I did for Okudah. That was just my opinion. But you come in, and I think regardless for cornerbacks, there's going to be some type of transition period, right? Like just maybe catching up to the speed of things, or the college football, a lot of these guys face receivers that just line up. You got to line up on the left side, right side, and you just line up and you play this guy. There's not a whole lot of like creativity in the way that they line up, motion, try to confuse guys mentally and stuff. So I think there is a transition for young cornerbacks going to the NFL, and just the mental part of it, where it's really tougher to just line up and play. Now you got to deal with all these other things. I remember being with the Jets, and you could have trips to one side, but then a guy motion away, but then the back, then you got to count him. And is it two guys inside the hash or two guys outside, or do you count the back to your side, or is the back away? And then if he is, what type of coverage do you run? Okay, if it's cover 3, then you defend a bunch this way, but if it's cover 1, you defend a bunch this way. If it's cover 4, like they have all these different rules. Is it fire zone or is it regular 3? And it was just like, this is tough. This is tough. So mentally, there's that transition. And then on top of it, maybe Okudah not being like a top tier pure athlete. I think he had a really good athlete. I think vertical jump was like 40 inches or something like that. But I didn't care for him so much going number 3 overall to a team that might ask him to play so much man. And it sounded like he had a lot of moments where he struggled a bit, right? Now, he didn't just struggle maybe on the field. He struggled kind of to stay on the field as well. Talking about only played in 9 games, only started like 6 games. So he kind of dealt with that and nagging injuries. But I think this year you got a new staff coming over. All right, the head coach is a little funny style. But I want to say, did they get Aaron Glenn? Did Aaron Glenn go there? Aaron Glenn's a good dude. I'm curious to see what he does with the squad on the back end. Did a really good job with the Saints defensive backs all around. Thought they were great. Aaron Glenn, he actually was a scout. When I was with the Jets, Aaron Glenn was one of the scouts there, and now he's a coach, defensive coordinator, I believe now. But I think Okudah, the game is going to slow down for him. I think what he's being asked to do is going to start to slow down a little bit, and I think now we can start to see maybe some of his athleticism that he does possess shine through, and I expect Okudah to have more of a breakout year. Now, do I want to play him man-to-man on Devontae Adams because I'm in the NFC North? No, don't do that. And we also saw, I think it was Valdez-Scantling that just said, released outside on them, they ran a go, deep ball. That's a big-time athlete. And like I said, I don't know if Okudah has that pure athleticism. So there's some things that he's going to have to work through, but I think overall I would expect the Jets. I would expect the Lions to put him in more of a position to be successful with the new staff, mind slowed down, breakout year coming for Jeffrey Okudah. All right, here we go. Real quick before we get a swig real quick. Any questions y'all got, man? Any questions? Let's get it. Let's get it. Lions, man. This might be tough, man. Croc, what's up, bro? Which rookie at this year's draft are you most excited to watch this year? I mean, obviously, I think off top, I'd say Trey Lance because the 49ers drafted him. But I think outside of Trey Lance, probably Trevor Lawrence, because this is a guy who he's been pegged as the guy from the jump. Trevor Lawrence has had to be the guy. And I mean, there's a lot on his shoulders. He's drafted to really be the savior, and everybody looks at him as 100% can't miss product. And I think he's solid, but I like Justin Fields more than I like Trevor Lawrence. So I'm curious to see. I think I'm really anticipating seeing him just because of how polarizing of a prospect he is. Croc, how do you feel about CBS rating the Niners roster 16 out of 32? It pissed me off. I disagree. I'd have to do my research, though, to kind of see how much higher I would have them. But I saw some of the teams' rosters that they had over them, and I was just like. And they took quarterbacks out of it, too. So you can't even say, well, a team like the Packers are ahead of the Niners because they got Aaron Rodgers. They took the quarterback out of it. So it's interesting. I'd have to really look at it, do some research, but I feel I can't have the 49ers roster that low because I really like the 49ers roster. I think it's ready to go as long as they stay healthy. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Croc, what are your expectations of J.C. Horn? J.C. Horn, definitely one of my favorite prospects. All right, I actually did an interview with a New York Jets site this morning. I sent in all my stuff for him, did an interview, and they asked who is my favorite cornerback in the NFL right now, and how does this player kind of compare to Darrelle Revis. And I started off by saying nobody compares to Revis. Some of the things that I saw the Jets do where they really left him on that Revis Island thing was a real thing. They put Revis over here where there's a fire zone 3 or man or whatever, and they'd have a single high safety and roll their coverage to the other side. Revis would have no help. And Revis, unlike a lot of dudes in today's game, I mean, he truly shadowed guys with no help. There was no bracket. There was none of this. And when he was shadowing guys, like, bro, I'm shadowing the big dogs. All right. So we can't compare anybody to Revis. But my favorite guy to watch right now is Jalen Ramsey. And maybe Ramsey, you might see him get got every once in a while, but because of all the challenges that he presents and what he kind of puts on himself and what he takes on, right? Doesn't matter the size of the receiver, whether it's a big receiver, smaller receiver, he can shadow anybody. He's very competitive. I love the way he talks. I love the way he walks, his attitude, his cockiness, his swagger, all that stuff. Everything that Ramsey brings to the game, that's my guy. I have to say J.C. Horn reminds me of Jalen Ramsey. Horn might not be the most technically refined guy. He's been working a lot on it with Oliver Davis. Oliver's a cornerback, defensive back trainer out of Atlanta. Amazing trainer. But Horn's been working with him. So the technique's going to be on point. And when you just watch how he carries himself, man, there's that Jalen Ramsey aspect to it, to where it's like, man, rep might not be perfect. You might get me or whatever, but I'm going to compete every single rep. I ain't scared of nobody. I'm going to take on any type of challenges. Watch J.C. Horn go into the slot to guard Elijah Moore. You know what I'm saying? And Elijah Moore had like 8 catches for like 50 yards, or it was something crazy in 2 games on Ramsey. I mean, on Horn, something crazy like that, to where you got a speedster and you ain't giving up the deep ball and you're challenging him from every standpoint. And when you are that much bigger than the guy who Horn 6'1", 205, and Elijah Moore, 5'8", 180 or something like that, like that's hard to mirror match that type of size difference. I thought Horn did that very well, and obviously we know he can guard the big guys. So I'm excited to see J.C. Horn play. Definitely was my favorite defensive back in this class, because I just think the sky's the limit with what he's going to do. I'll get some more of these questions real quick, y'all. I do have a couple of more breakout guys I'm going to get into. All right, so real quick, let's get into these guys real quick. The next breakout guy. And I don't even know if this constitutes as a breakout guy, because I thought he played very well his rookie year. And I didn't want to be that guy that just went to like rookies. And then, I want to do more like 3rd-year guys, 4-year guys. Are they going to have a breakout? But a lot of the responses I was getting were kind of some rookies. People were expecting them to take a big leap. I went with Okudah because obviously only played in 9 games. A lot of people were down on him. I'm expecting a big year out of him. But this next guy, CeeDee Lamb, all right, receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, CeeDee Lamb was my wide receiver 1 coming out of Oklahoma. So I don't know how much more you can have a breakout year after you were the number 1 receiver on my board coming out, all right, number 1 receiver. And then on top of that, you go in, Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott's throwing the ball all around like crazy, all right. Comes in, CeeDee Lamb, let's read off his numbers a little bit real quick. All right, 74 catches, 935 yards, 5 touchdowns. And there was one game where he had like 0 catches, 0 yards. So, which I don't know how that happened. And I would assume some of his numbers actually took a hit because there was no Dak Prescott for the entire season. All right, so breakout year. And when I say breakout year with CeeDee Lamb, I'm not talking about just a more productive year. It's like, can he be a 1,400-yard receiver? Now, there's some challenges that present themselves with the Dallas Cowboys. One, you got Amari Cooper. All right, so that's already tough because Amari Cooper probably going to get the bulk of the targets unless they just full-on go just in a different way with CeeDee Lamb. But probably going to go with get a bulk of the targets with Amari Cooper. All right, and then you have, the running backs back there with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. So that makes it tough because now you got two guys that you probably want to lean on to get the rock to it, not really throw the ball all around like they did last year and potentially get your quarterback hurt. So did they want to lean more on the run game? Did they have to throw so much last year because they were just down so much? I mean, they were down triple digits, seemed like every week at some point in the game and had to try to throw their way back into games. So are they going to lean more on the run game with Zeke and Tony Pollard? And again, Mari Cooper. And then you got Michael Gallup, who he's been a 1,000-yard receiver. All right, he's been a 1,000-yard receiver. So I expect a big year for CeeDee Lamb. It's hard to call it a breakout year just because, again, he was 65 yards short of 1,000 yards. But I say breakout year with him. Can he potentially be a 1,300-yard guy? Again, it's tough because of the circumstances with who he's playing with. Again, Cooper, Gallup, Zeke, Pollard. Are they going to lean more on the run game? Is defense going to get better? Are they going to not have to throw the ball around as much? But again, you can also say that he potentially will get better just because he'll have more consistency from his quarterback position. So that's kind of my spill on him. I got one more guy that we're going to get to, but real quick, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk. So you like Brandon Ayuk more than CeeDee Lamb? I would say, dang, fly, y'all. CeeDee Lamb was my wide receiver one coming out of that class. So, but I see Ayuk being somebody that could be terrific as well. And I also could see Ayuk potentially getting more targets, potentially. Got George Kittle, and then will Ayuk be that wide receiver one guy, and Debo take more of a wide receiver two role? That's something that's definitely possible as well. I appreciate the contribution, $2 contribution. Let's go. Making money out here, getting rich. Appreciate that, Tommy. All right. Now, for the last guy. All right. My last breakout player. Let's go. Kendrick Bourne, Patriots receiver. All right. Just signed a 3-year, $15 million contract, a little bit over $7 million guaranteed. And Kendrick Bourne has been a guy, man, you want to talk about having to overcome roster politics, man. A guy that was Kendrick Bourne. This is a Kendrick Bourne thing to do. Kendrick Bourne, he didn't have to leave Eastern Washington when he left. I believe he had another year. Now, I played there with my guy Shaq Hill, real 209, you know what I'm saying? Stockton, we out here. All right. Played with Shaq Hill, played with Cooper Kupp, came out early. All right. I'm talking about Kendrick Bourne. Did not have to come out, came out early. All right. Went undrafted. All right, but it's clearly somebody that believes in himself. Worked his butt off, made the roster. And not only did he make the roster, this is really tough. I think this might be Kendrick Bourne's greatest accomplishment. All right, Kendrick Bourne made the 49ers roster without being good on special teams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times, if you're going to make that 53-man roster as an undrafted guy, you better be kick-ass on special teams. And I don't think KB ever played special teams. So that was amazing to see. And just the progression and him do better. But last year had a decent year, 49 catches, 667 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was his lowest touchdown total over the past 3 years. I think he had 5 the year before that, had some clutch catches in the playoffs. And then I think he had 4 the year before. All right. But now you got Kendrick Bourne, and he's going to a situation where it's like, okay, now you got to be a guy. Right, N'Keal Harry, we don't care about him, and Bird and all these other guys that they had, Myers or whatever. Okay, he's cool, but okay, we got Nelson Aguilar, we got Kendrick Bourne, and then we got these 2 tight ends that they signed, who I think they probably want to really put an offense together around those guys. But this is Kendrick Bourne's chance. This is it. This is KB's chance. Now, who's going to be the quarterback? I think we can see a difference in his numbers depending on who the quarterback is. Is it going to be Cam Newton, or is it going to be Mac Jones? I think if it's Mac Jones, we see Kendrick Bourne's numbers up more. I think if it's Cam Newton, might take a dip, right? He might depend more on the big body guys with his tight ends and things like that. All right, so I'm curious to see what Kendrick Bourne does, but this is the moment that he's been waiting on. This is the key opportunity for him to really step in and be in the team's plans as being a guy. Hasn't had that with the 49ers, no matter what, right? Last year, it's like, dude, we want, or even the year before, let's go back a couple years. It's like, no, we got Marquise Goodwin, Debo Samuel. We'll kind of see what happens. Obviously, that situation was up and down. They ended up bringing Emmanuel Sanders in for a Super Bowl push. Next year, drafted IU, you got Debo again. You want those guys to be the guys, and then obviously you got George Kittle. And Kendrick Bourne has always kind of been more of an afterthought. And, he'll get in. He carved out his own role, and obviously to the point where he had almost 50 catches for over 650 yards. So he's done well with the opportunities that have presented himself. But now he has even a bigger chance to take that next leap. And when I say breakout for him, can he be 1,000-yard receiver? That would be amazing because those were one of his goals previously. A lot of people dogged him for having that goal, kind of believing on himself and thinking that he could be that type of guy. And I think with his work ethic, how he works and, all that, he's a guy who I don't want to bet against Kendrick Bourne. So I'm going to go ahead and say Kendrick Bourne is going to have a breakout year. So the three guys I said are going to have breakout years, Jeffrey Okudah. I'm really curious to see what he does, see if he has a big year too. CeeDee Lamb had a really solid rookie year. Does he have a big jump? 1,300-yard, 1,400-yard receiver? We'll see. A lot of guys on that offense. And then Kendrick Bourne. I think this is the opportunity he's been waiting on. Can he be a 1,000-yard receiver? All right. So that's going to do it for all the guys that I want to talk about today. Now, I can take all of your questions. Again, if you guys aren't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the like button right now. If you are watching on Periscope, forget Periscope. Go over to YouTube. Click the link on somewhere on my Twitter, one of the top things. Click the link to this video and go subscribe on the YouTube channel. I appreciate everybody for the support. I announced it. I said I was going to announce it. I didn't even announce it to start the show, kind of start off with some somber news, but I am partnered up now with Underdog Fantasy. All right, so everybody in here, we got a bunch of people watching on here, probably got some people watching on Periscope. If you're not signed up for Underdog Fantasy, don't sign up yet. Wait Tuesday, I believe it is, Tuesday or Wednesday, my promo code comes out. All right, so when you do sign up, y'all got to sign up with my promo code. Feel me? So, yeah, that's some exciting news for me. Partner up with them. I'm going to put together all type of different contests and things. You guys are going to weekly contests, yearly contests. We're going to have a bunch of different contests where y'all can make money. All right, $10 fantasy teams, 20, 30, 40, 50. We're going all the way up. Man, let's get it. Underdog Fantasy. Don't sign up yet. Wait till my promo code comes out this week. I'll get that promo code to y'all. Y'all got to sign up under the promo code Croc. It ain't there yet, though, so just hold off on that. All right, so now let's talk, baby. I'm here to answer all y'all questions. All right, and we'll do this for about 15, 20 minutes, however long y'all want to do it, however long. Croc is the president of the KB fan club. Yeah, I guess I could take that title. And my thing is, man, I just always appreciate somebody that works really hard, man, and the underdog. Because I know what it's like. I know what it's like. And I get it. The sweet guys are always fun to watch. It's easy to say the Brandon Ayuks and the Debo Samuels and, all these high-flying guys. But, man, let's talk about some of these guys that went undrafted and me understanding what goes into that and the roster politics that you got to have to come overcome to really carve out your own role, man. That's tough. So I'd say, yeah, president. I'd say a believer. President of the Believe in Kendrick Bourne fan club. Ooh, I like this one. How do you think Devontae Smith will do? Ooh, I am excited to see Devontae Smith. He's probably a guy, especially out of a lot of the rookies, he should get the most love. Well, Jamar Chase too, but he should be getting a lot of targets. He's not really having a lot of guys that he has to compete with for the rock. And I feel like he's a guy who is easy to get the ball to because I think he excels in all areas, whether it's underneath, screens, slants right now, out routes, quicks, and also can win vertically. They have Dallas Goedert, who's a terrific tight end. And I want to say they still have Zach Ertz until they, possibly trade him, which it sounds like they might be looking for someone. But I like Devontae Smith, and I think he's going to have a tremendous year. What's the over-under? That's what I want to know. What's the over-under for his stats? Because if he's pegged to kind of be, a 700, if they put the over-under at 700 yards, I'm taking the over. I'll put a couple hundred on that. All right, so definitely I am someone who thinks that Devontae Smith, as long as he stays healthy, will have a legit rookie year. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. Let's see. Mims is better, but Ayuk cool. Are you talking about Mims? Yeah, okay, so this is Jets gang. So Mims. I wasn't as high on Mims. Little high-hipped, stiff. Don't think he's quite the separator. Long strider. Definitely some ability there. I'm curious to see where they line him up a little bit more this year because I know he played a little bit some slot last year, some outside, dealt with some injuries and whatnot. He is a guy who, I mean, he should be good, but better than Ayuk? Nah, I can't give him that. And that's not me just being a 49er fan. I legit don't think, even in my rankings with those guys coming out, Mims was much lower than Ayuk. Ayuk wasn't that low. All right, so let's go down here, get to some of these. If I do podcasting this year, would you be down to be on my show, bro? I was thinking of doing some stuff with guests. Of course. Let's do it. Line it up. You just let me know. Now, this is the other thing. You just got to do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. If you already thought about it, like you know you want to do it. So now you're just going to jump on and do it. And I tell you what, right now is maybe the perfect time to kind of get into it, find your niche, develop it. I'm still working on mine. Okay, what is it exactly I want to do? Where do I want to take this? Obviously, I wear my 49er hat, but I want this to be a legit football show to where you know, if you're a Jets fan or whatever it is, you can come here and get some information on your team. So, yeah. Oh, I got some people in here arguing in the comments and whatnot. Will, what up, baby? What's good with you? All right, so shoes, I think that's gonna do it for today's episode. Mims Eves in the first round pick, you dumbass. Wow, y'all really going after it. I'm too smart to be your son. You all right, hey, I appreciate everybody for coming in here today and listening. I appreciate everybody that watched, whether you're on YouTube, Periscope. Again, if you're not on YouTube or if you are and you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment below, all that good stuff. I appreciate everybody. My promo code for Underdog Fantasy Football coming in the next few days. I'm going to get that to you guys. I appreciate everybody for all the support, and I'm out. Let's get it. Croc Talk, baby.